Good day, good day. It's God Says Ministries, the House of Fire, and I'm Prophet Tavis. So, the American midterm elections. I've been watching it from this side. And the Esther of Arizona is holding the line. Esther holding the line in Arizona. My flesh was not happy when I saw what was going on in the United States with the so-called red wave that didn't look like it was materializing. But my spirit was jumping for joy, for the hand of God is in play. The hand of God is on the queen. The hand of God is on the queen, and she's about to fall. And the king is left exposed to the truth that stands at the door knocking. Truth that cannot be held down. Truth that's going to be revealed very, very soon. In a day, God is going to turn the whole world upside down and inside out, and many skeletons are going to fall out of caves and burrows and chambers of darkness and be revealed to the light of day in the coming days ahead. It's going to be a glorious, glorious time. And as Kim Clement put it in his prophecy, a hypnotic November. A hypnotic November where disbelief is going to take hold of many as truth arises from the dust where it's been crying out for decades and decades, where children have been forgotten and men and women that took a stand disappeared. But their truth will now come to the foreground and be revealed to a confused world. Those that have not recognized the signs of the times are going to stand in confusion of what is about to happen as the hand of God flips the earth upside down and inside out. So, India trip. I think I was sort of thinking I had a lot more time. Oh, it's just next year, next year. And then I suddenly realized, hang on, it's like 3 months away. 3 months. 3 months away, the India trip. And we need about 35,000 rand. About 35,000 rand. I think we've got 21,000 some change at the moment. But we need about 35 for the air tickets over there and the bits and pieces that are needed to get us to India. And those of you saying, hearing me say us, oh, I mean you. You were always with me on any of the trips. Even the Ugandans now asking me when I'm coming back, I said, well, I'm going to India first, and then we'll see what God does and opens the door for Uganda again. So, yeah, India trip, as I said, we are still needing probably about 15,000 Rand. That's about, I think it's about $800. The Rand is about 17 something to 17 Rand to the dollar. So it's about $800, I think. Anyway, so that's what we're needing still. The thing is, I can't get a visa unless I've got a ticket. So, the cash has to come in for the trip, and then I can get the visa because they want the dates and everything and the air ticket numbers. So, yeah, I got the Ugandans sending me messages, yeah. One that's trying to get a prophecy out of me, um, and another that wants to be one of my intercessors. One of my intercessors. Let me just telling me I'm live on YouTube. Yeah, so that's Latif, one of the youngsters. He's now left the school ground area where he's doing a bit further studies. I don't know where he's actually. I know he's in Entebbe, and he's doing further studies in Entebbe, but he's out of his school. He's about 22 or somewhere 21, 22 there, and he wants to be one of my intercessors in Uganda to pray for me. With all the trips and anything, mission trips and for the ministry. So I said, go for it. You can be one of the intercessors. You lay it before God and open the doors. Open the doors. Yeah, so as I said, I've started the mold for the trailer. I'm still waiting for the guys to build it. Um, hopefully they started it. It's not like I'm in a rush, but I'd like to get it there so I can then do all the measurements up to be able to get it under this carport that's outside here, positioning it nicely so I can get my car in with out the way of my landlord. And yeah, so as I said, I've prepared the flat mold table for the top half of the trailer for the actual studio and top half. And I'm going to be pulling some of the sheets off that when the trailer is standing there, I can then measure up and build the actual studio, office, church, mobile church. And I'm looking at putting a solar panel on top of it that I can have a battery inside that could run various lights and whatever. Mainly, I actually wanted to run cameras that are mounted on the actual trailer, actual office that capture everything that goes on, what God is doing. I mainly wanted to have it for 12-volt cameras that can run for hours and capture whatever God does. Because you want to pull out a camera and while you're praying for somebody, it's a distraction to that person as well. And so if I have cameras that are pointing down and capturing the conversations and anything like that, I won't use private conversations and that'll be deleted. But if God does some miracle or a sign and wonder or a big revelation, then that we will put out on this channel. And I'm also going to have looking and see if I can live stream from the actual trailer while people are gathered there, and let them know that they're on live stream. And so, yeah, I'm going to try and get cameras on the trailer that capture everything there. And then I'm going to have a gas stove or something where I can have a kettle inside. And I have a little generator here, which can be used also for the trailer. Gas stove or something that I can have various types of coffee there. It's not going to be coffee machines, but I mean, we can use the little press down, those filter coffee things that you push through the coffee. We'll use that for making coffee, and then I'll get one of the retired ladies here in Gunubi who does baking and whatever, and they can make some scones and muffins or something like that can be shared out while we have a chat, and while there's a line in the water behind me, and we're fishing with Jesus. And yeah, so I'm excited for that. I've been very quiet for a while now. Not many videos you can see coming out. I've been standing with a fishing rod on the beach in my hands. You can see nice and burnt I am. And things, I don't know, it's just like I'm resting. I can't explain it to anybody. It's like God's got me just not in no man's land, but just being still, being still. Even when I'm fishing, I'm not really thinking of much at all. I'm just standing there with a fishing rod in my hands, waiting for a bite. So, um, and the prophecies that He's given me already for the world and the United States and everything, I believe is everything that is needed for what is about to happen. So, yeah, it's like a rest period at the moment. Like I'm in a rest period where um, nothing is really. I don't know, what is this here? Social connected. I don't know if this chat is working or if anybody's putting anything on the chat, because this is just chat disconnected. Then it says successfully connected. I don't know if the chat is actually even working. But anyway, or if anybody's even typing anything, maybe it's just nobody's typing anything. Yeah, so I'm expecting big things to happen in the coming days, and a lot to be revealed in the coming days. So, um, yeah, what can I really say? It's like I'm not in no man's land. I'm in God's hands, resting in the shelter of His wings. Shelter of His wings. Yeah, let me just tell this other guy I'm live on. Sending messages left, right, and center. Ugandans, yeah. Yeah, no. So, yeah, been very quiet here in South Africa as far as I'm concerned. I haven't heard much what's going on in my own country. It's more like everybody's waiting on to see what's going to happen with the United States and Ukraine area and Russia. I see Russia's pulling out of one area of the Ukraine. Maybe their work is done in that area. So And yeah, I just believe God is about to do something. My brother, Pastor Grace, was here for almost 2 weeks. He originally was going to be here for 5 days. Pastor Grace from Uganda, but I never got to see him. Basically, I know with these 10 day or 1 week people coming out for a mission trip for that, your program is so full. They run you around all over the place and whatever. And that's why I like 2 months, You can spread it out and you don't have to rush around. And, if you go and have some coffee with somebody and a nice long chat because you got time. But when you only for 10 days or a week, yeah, or 2 weeks, then you rushed around like crazy from this place to that place. And people want to greet you and you can't talk to them. So I just stayed away from him and just left him do his program. And he's back in Uganda now. So we'll chat again then. What happened to the 5 days of Monday? I don't know. Andrea, a lot of the times I find out, you know, down the line, sometimes even a couple of months down the line, what happened on those days. Um, and, with our news system, the mainstream news system, um, they don't report things. They refuse to report certain things. And you'll probably find, like, down the line when the truth comes out, you will find out it happened in those 5 days. It happened in those 5 days. So many a time I've said, watch this day. A couple of times when I've said, watch these days, it's happened on that day. You can see the news is actually broadcast on the day. And same when Ginsburg died, the judge from the Supreme Court, I said, watch this day, and every word that I put in to watch for that day applied to her death, basically. The whole world was talking about it, and it was talking about the world, the news and everything. And then there are other ones when I've said, watch this day, and it's looked like nothing has happened. And like a month later, something comes out, and then you work back the days, and it actually happened on that day, but they suppressed the news. They suppressed it, that the people wouldn't find out. But eventually the truth comes up. It bubbles to the surface. So, you know, God works in his time and his ways. Though we might call the next 5 days, like I call the next 5 days, this to happen, we might find out months down the line that this big thing comes out about something that's happened or was revealed and whatever, but it actually happened in those 5 days. It's been suppressed by the actual media that we've got at the moment, and it's suppressed on social media. But now that Elon Musk has taken over Twitter, I see there's a bit more getting out now, and I believe once this election is sorted out and they got all the votes in, a lot more will come out, and truth will reign again. Truth will reign again. So, yeah. Um, yeah, so just when things come out, especially said the world would be glued to the TV, lockdown there. The day when. Oh, that's, I didn't see anything either myself for the Andrea. But I know sometimes uh, events are suppressed and by the news, the mainstream news, and by social media, and then it comes out a little while later, and it's a big reveal, and everybody's glued to the screens, but you find out it happened in those 5 days or whatever, So, as I said, we see in part and we hear in part as prophets of God, and we're not always going to get it right. I say the next 5 days, maybe something happened in those next 5 days that hasn't been revealed yet. And when it is revealed, the whole world will stand still and watch the news. But as I said, some of my stuff is that I've said, watch this day. We found out on that day. It's revealed on that day, completely on that day. I mean, the one that I said, watch this day, this and the way of you. On that day, exact day, early hours in the morning, the Georgia Guidestones were destroyed. And if you look at the wording I put out, it's exactly what happened to the Georgia Guidestones. And then there's others that you find out like down the line, the news will come out, but it's actually news from those days or that day. And it's only revealed later, the truth is only revealed later. But who knows? Maybe I missed that one. And at the end of the day, we're still all human, eh? And we're still all trying to hear correctly. And we're all learning as we go along. That applies to everybody. You learn every day what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. So, but I believe there's some reveal coming still about those 5 days. So, I mean, we've got the date for when I said it. So, uh, we'll see as it goes on. At the end of the day, many prophets don't miss it, I would say, but actually interpret their own understanding of it. And it's not God's way of thinking. My thoughts are higher than your thoughts, and His ways are higher than our ways. And but you'll find out that down the line, that actually happened in those days that you spoke of. It's just that the timing of the reveal of whatever it is was held back, you know. And it's the same thing with the prophets, and including myself, prophets saying that President Trump will have 2 terms. And everybody is saying that the prophets are false prophets because he's not having 2 terms. But is he not? This is the thing. Is he not having 2 terms? Because he didn't concede. Um, God doesn't see the one that's in the seat at the moment as the president of the United States. He doesn't recognize him at all, doesn't recognize that he won anything, doesn't recognize it all. So, in God's eyes, Donald Trump is still the president of the United States in God's eyes, and he is in his second term. Um, you know, let me give you an example. Um, uh, when you sleep around, like if you have a girlfriend and, before marriage, anything like that, or boyfriend, and then you have another one, basically, uh, the word of God says a man would leave his mother and father and be joined to his wife. Joined to his wife. The only way you join to somebody is through the consummation of your marriage, or through sex. Basically, you are joined. So God sees the moment you join with a woman, that as a marriage. So that's God's ways. God's thoughts. That is a marriage. That's what Jesus said to the woman at the well. You have 5 husbands. You have 5 husbands, but none of them are your husband, including the one you're with. Because by the joining of a man and a woman, God, in God's eyes and His ways, you are married in the spiritual sense. You are married. So, same applies to, in God's ways and God's thoughts, Donald Trump won the election. And we all know he won the election. And, but by the natural sight and the natural ears and the natural mind, says he didn't win it. So, yeah, well, I mean, we still, as I said, we see in part, Andrea, okay, Afrikaans word, Afrikaans name, Andrea. We see in part. That's the thing. And, Kim Clement had a whole bunch of people that actually sat down and took his prophecies and tried to analyze them. I don't. It's just me. Um, Robin Bullock's got people around him that will sit down and go through his prophecies and try and find the mystery in it and how it works. Whereas I give it to you guys, and what you hear is what I hear, or what I hear is what you will hear. And so at the end of the day, I've got to be obedient to my faith that I've heard correctly, and I've got to speak it out. I can't second judge myself. I can't second judge my hearing. I can discern whether it's God's voice or not, whether it's God talking to me or not, but I can't second judge, should I put it out? Should I wait? Should I do this? Should I do that? If God says put it out, then I put it out. And that's faith. Saying something that you believe you've heard and you believe is correct is basically walking in the spirit and walking by faith and not by sight or sound or the thought of a man. And that's why I say when I get a word and I'm typing it down, writing it out, and the moment I have to think for the next thing, because most of the time the whole thing just comes, and then as soon as I know I'm starting to think now, I must put the full stop because now my mind's taken over. Whereas before it's come straight from within me up to the mind, and I can really literally have a conversation with you while typing out a prophetic word that I'm hearing at the same time. That's how I know I'm hearing correctly. And then some discernment comes into it, it whether it is steals, kills, and destroys, or whether it comes and gives life and life in abundance. So there's a discernment in that sense, is where I look at it and say, okay, is this God talking, or is this the thief talking? And then I take it from there. When I look at it and I say, okay, this is joy, this is life, this is love, this is peace, this is everything that what God is, and then I put it out. So yeah, as I said, a lot of times I found out afterwards. I even sent a prophetic, strange prophetic word through to via to Clay Clark via his mom-in-law, and only found out, although they actually looked at it and figured out what it meant and anything, and then found the person it was talking about and removed them from their group. And basically, within a day or so of giving the prophecy, I only found out that it has actually happened like while I was in India, and it was like 4 or 5 months after I gave the prophecy. So yeah, that's how it works, unfortunately. Um, I could have missed it on that one, Andrea, but I can't say I have missed it because I've had too many places where news is broken out and the world is listening and talking about something, and then when they said it actually happened, it happened on that day that I spoke about. So I'll just wait in God's time and see when it's revealed. If it's revealed, if it's not revealed, then I missed it. Then, but it was such a strong sense of something that's happened in those days that I believe that we're going to still see a revealing of it. And it will be a shock to the world and a shock to everybody, like a 9/11 type of event. Even though it's not revealed on those days, we're going to see that it happened in those days. So, yeah, we'll just, not to repeat your sister's words, just wait and see. But we'll have to wait and see when God's timing is to reveal it. And but all the glory to Him, man. All the glory to Him. I'm just the channel that He's working on, the vessel, I should say, the vessel that He's filling and tipping out and filling and tipping out. But we are living in great times right now. We are living in very interesting biblical times right now. And we're about to see the Holy Spirit explode on the scene in a way that nobody's expecting. And the glory and the fire of God is going to take off like a flamethrower in many faces. And many people are going to be embarrassed and shamed that their dirty laundry is going to be exposed to the world and revealed for their greed and the love of money. And we're going to see a big change worldwide in prosperity and peace and a lot of joy and a lot of partying in the presence of the Lord worldwide. So, yeah, I don't know if there's any more questions out there before we call it a night. I know it hasn't been on very long, but as I said, God has got me quietened down a bit. I was still saying, when I was fishing today, I was still saying, Lord, what's going on? Why is it like there's no drive to do anything? You know, normally I'm like itching at the bit to get going and to hear the next thing and to reveal the next revelation, and there's no drive to do it. There's a hunger there for it, but there's no, okay, let's get this show on the road. It's like I'm in this place of peace, absolute peace, also the peace that surpasses understanding. Yeah, I'm resting. I needed a rest after Uganda. I needed a rest after Uganda because the whole body was a bit of a taking a toll after building that tower in Uganda. But so I'm resting, but I'm not the sort of person I used to be. I mean, used to be a couch potato most of the time, and quite easily. But now I'm like, where's that drive? Where's that drive? The hunger's there for the drive, but you know, where's that next word, Lord? And I just get the feeling that I've got everything. I've been putting them out and out and out and out. The same words. There's been the odd one in between where a new one has come, but I've been putting the same words out because I know God has said them, and I know they're going to make their appearance very soon, and everything's lining up for it. So I sort of believe that I've got everything that, as the 70 letter says, you have everything you need. Not that I follow the 17 letter all the time. I just hear the other guys talking about it, and the truth is talking about it. But it's only way I can keep up with the news, what's going on, is to watch the truthers. A lot of them I take with a pinch of salt. There's some strange truthers out there with some strange ideas, but it's still quite entertaining. It's like watching a comedy show sometimes. Yeah. There's only a couple that I really watch. Well, I mean, that's X22 Report and We Know with LT. There's one or two others as well. I do Clay Clark's Thrive Time shows. Not all of the stuff. He puts quite a bit out. I watch the War Room with Bannon and Dan Bongino. And that's already about it. The other guys are sometimes just more entertainment and jokes sometimes, But yeah, and um, what's his name? Patel Patriot. Seventeen, Andrea, is the 17th letter of the alphabet, which is Q. So, which is the intelligence drops that we've been dropping for the last since 2017, 4 or 5 years. So that is what the guys have been talking about. Q drops. It's the 17th letter of the alphabet, the letter Q. And it's also the highest intelligence clearance you can get. So that's what the 17 is. 17, not 17th, but it's 17. The number 17 is the 17th letter of the English alphabet. So I think I'm going to call it a night. I'm a little on the tired side here. I don't know why I woke up so early this morning. I went to bed so late last night. I was watching your lections there. And I just watched your Esther there. Esther. Carrie Lake. I really believe she's the Esther that King Clement was talking about in his prophecies. And in the prophecy about Esther, in one I had, I really believe Carrie Lake is the Esther that God is bringing on the scene, and that the cartels are going to tremble before. Anyway, guys, you must have a blessed night, day, morning, wherever you are in the world. And God bless you. And may his favor drip from every part of you. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Good night, good day, and good morning, and goodbye.